Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams and with me is Renuka with the evening news. The headlines. Both houses of parliament adjourned sine die. Lok Sabha recorded 129% productivity and Rajya Sabha 98% during budget session. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar and Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh to lead Indian delegation at 2+2 India-US talks on 11th of this month in Washington. India focusing on stabilizing economic relations with Russia and watching developments in Sri Lanka to help mitigate economic situation, says External Affairs Ministry. Finance Ministry grants additional borrowing permission of 28,204 crore rupees to 10 states for undertaking stipulated reforms in power sector in 2021-22. Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy dissolves his cabinet to bring in new ministers ahead of 2024 state elections. In Bihar, ruling NDA bags 13 seats in Legislative Council elections. Government mandates vehicles fitness testing via automated stations in phased manner from April 2023. And in IPL cricket, match between Lucknow Super Giants and Delhi Capitals underway in Mumbai. Both houses of parliament have been adjourned sine die a day ahead of schedule. The second part of the budget session was scheduled to end tomorrow. In the Lok Sabha, Speaker Om Birla informed the House that the session had a total of 27 sittings for a total of 177 hours and 50 minutes. Making concluding remarks, the Speaker highlighted that the House recorded 129% productivity during this session.
सत्र के दौरान 12 सरकारी विधेयक पुनर्स्थापित किए गए तथा 13 विधेयक पारित हुए। पारित किए गए कुछ महत्वपूर्ण विधेयक निम्नलिखित है। वित्त विधेयक 2022, दिल्ली नगर निगम संशोधन विधेयक 2022, दंड प्रक्रिया शिनाख्त विधेयक 2022 और सामूहिक संहार के आयुध और उनकी परिधान प्रणाली विधि विरुद्ध क्रियाकलापों का प्रतिशेष संशोधन विधेयक 2022। 8वें सत्र में सभा की कुल कार्य उत्पादकता 129%, 129% रही।
Earlier in the Rajya Sabha, as soon as the House met for the day, Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu said the House will be adjourned sine die and he was about to make concluding remarks. In between, Shiv Sena members tried to raise the issue of alleged INS Vikrant fund bungling and came into the well. Members from the Congress, Left, TMC and others also came in support and raised slogans demanding a probe into the matter. The chairman repeatedly asked the protesting members to go back to their seats, but they did not pay heed. Mr. Naidu described the agitating members' act as against the norms, dignity and decorum of the House. Later, he adjourned the House sine die without making the concluding remarks.
Honorable members, as we are adjourning sine die today, the answers to questions of starred, unstarred and short notice questions listed for today are treated as laid on the table of the House. And for that reason, I am not allowing any other issues also to be raised. So 0 hour, 3 direct praise. You can raise tomorrow, day of tomorrow, anywhere you like, but not here. This is not the way, please. Don't unnecessarily register negative thoughts in my mind. This is not the way. Nothing will go on record.
Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi today said the government allowed full discussion on various issues in both houses of parliament during the budget session. Mr. Joshi said it is not appropriate for the opposition to allege that the government disallowed the discussion. He said, in fact, the opposition members requested to adjourn both houses sine die before the scheduled time. Talking to media at Parliament House, Mr. Joshi said,
whatever was demanded by the opposition, all were discussed in Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha. In Rajya Sabha, first time, the working of the ministries on development of Northeast region, tribal affairs, railways were discussed, and the Ministry of Labour and Employment are also discussed but could not able to reply. And supplementary demands for grant 21-22 and Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir after their adoption were also introduced.
Mentioning the achievements of the budget session, the minister said the productivity of the Lok Sabha during the budget session was approximately 129%, while that of Rajya Sabha was 98%.
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar will embark on a 2-day visit to the U.S. on the 11th of this month for the India-U.S. 2+2 ministerial dialogue in Washington. Dr. Jaishankar and Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh will lead the Indian delegation at the 2+2 talks. The U.S. delegation will be led by Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin. Briefing media in New Delhi this evening, External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Arindam Bagchi said the 2+2 dialogue mechanism will also provide the opportunity to exchange views about important regional and global developments and how both the countries can work together to address common interests and concern.
The dialogue would enable both sides to undertake a comprehensive review of cross-cutting issues in the India-US bilateral agenda related to foreign policy, defense and security, with the objective of providing strategic guidance and vision for further consolidating the relationship. EM will also separately meet his U.S. counterpart, Secretary Blinken. EM is also scheduled to meet senior members of the U.S. administration to further advance the India-US Comprehensive Global Strategic Partnership.
The External Affairs Ministry today said that India has established economic relations with Russia and focus is on stabilizing these relations in the current circumstances. Replying to a query on U.S. Deputy NSA Dalip Singh's remarks on India's trade with Russia, Ministry spokesperson Arindam Bagchi said India has been very open about it and clear regarding its position. He emphasized that energy flows to Europe are continuing and fertilizer purchasing has been insulated. He stressed that political colouring should not be attributed to India's actions.
We have an established economic relations with Russia. We are aware of, we've been saying it. Given the current circumstances, post-developments in Ukraine, I think there is an effort by both sides to ensure that this economic relationship remains stable, and that's why we're saying stabilized. Because this relationship exists and it's in our interest to make sure some of this economic activity continues, and we are trying to see how we can keep that stable in that context.
India has welcomed the announcement of a 2-month ceasefire in the Yemen conflict from the 2nd of April. Briefing media in New Delhi, External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Arindam Bagchi said India hopes this truce will lead to a comprehensive and durable ceasefire and build positive momentum towards an inclusive political process to end the 8-year-long conflict in Yemen. He said India has historical and friendly ties with Yemen and hopes for peace, security and prosperity in the country and region. On Sri Lanka, Mr. Bagchi said India is watching the developments closely as it is a neighbour and a close friend.
We are a neighbour and a close friend. There have been evolving economic situation there as well as other developments. We have extended assistance. If you put it together, about $2.5 billion worth during the past 2-3 months, I would say. Includes credit facilities for fuel and food, which are most required. Since mid-March, over 270,000 metric tons diesel and petrol have been delivered to Sri Lanka. In addition, 40,000 tons of rice have been supplied under the recently extended $1 billion credit facility. I just want to emphasize the relationship between India and Sri Lanka is rooted in shared civilizational values.
Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh today released the third positive indigenization list in New Delhi to develop India as a defence manufacturing hub. The third list consists of over 100 items, including complex equipment and systems, which are being developed and are likely to translate into firm orders over the next 5 years. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Singh said the notification of the third list is a major initiative to achieve self-reliance in defence manufacturing.
साथियों, एक एक करके डिफेंस आइटम्स की लगातार तीसरी लिस्ट का जारी होना रक्षा क्षेत्र में आत्मनिर्भरता के सरकार के प्रयासों को यह दर्शाता है। रक्षा क्षेत्र में आत्मनिर्भरता और डिफेंस एक्सपोर्ट्स को बढ़ावा देना ये हमारे 2 महत्वपूर्ण उद्देश्य हैं और इस लिस्ट के जारी होने से पब्लिक और प्राइवेट सेक्टर के एक्टिव पार्टिसिपेशन के साथ इंडिजिनाइजेशन को बढ़ावा मिलेगा और इन दोनों लक्ष्यों को प्राप्त करने की दिशा में हम और तेजी से आगे बढ़ेंगे। डिफेंस आइटम्स की यह तीसरी लिस्ट रक्षा मंत्रालय द्वारा इसके सभी स्टेक होल्डर जैसे डिफेंस रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन मीन्स डीआरडीओ, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ डिफेंस प्रोडक्शन, सर्विस हेडक्वार्टर और प्राइवेट इंडस्ट्री से गहनतापूर्वक विचार विमर्श करने के बाद ही इसे तैयार किया गया है।
The Department of Expenditure under the Ministry of Finance has granted additional borrowing permission of 28,204 crore rupees to 10 states for undertaking the stipulated reforms in power sector in 2021-22. The states are Andhra Pradesh, Assam, Himachal Pradesh, Manipur, Meghalaya, Odisha, Rajasthan, Sikkim, Tamil Nadu and Uttar Pradesh. India has achieved its highest ever merchandise exports of $417.8 billion. The Commerce and Industry Ministry said that India has achieved the highest monthly value of merchandise export in March this year, amounting to $40.38 billion. This is an increase of 14.53% over $35.26 billion in March last year. India has crossed $400 billion merchandise exports in current financial year, 9 days ahead of schedule. This is the first time ever in history when India has managed to break free of the band of $300 billion, which used to be India's export figure in the past. Our correspondent reports that agriculture products export has played a major role in this. Exports of agricultural products of the year 2021-22 have crossed $50 billion. This is the highest level ever achieved for agriculture exports.
Power Minister R.K. Singh has said building up storage capacity of renewable energy will add impetus to tackling climate change, and the government is serious about mitigating its impacts. Delivering the keynote address at the Clean Energy Ministerial Meeting on India Energy Spotlight in New Delhi today, he urged the international community to create a low-cost fund to finance storage and clean energy projects to tackle climate change.
If we are really serious about tackling climate change, there are some things which we need to address. Now, you can't carry on adding renewable energy capacity, wind and solar, without storage. And storage is expensive. Because we, the developed world, despite talking about the climate, did not do anything to increase volumes in storage. If you increase volumes, the prices come down. We've already installed storage, and similarly we are adding storage everywhere. And my request to all the developed countries is that please join hands. You also start increasing volumes of storage. You do that, more manufacturing capacity of storage will come up, plus prices will come down. I would urge the world to establish low-cost fund, zero rate of interest, give loans at zero rates of interest, which will help other countries to build up storage.
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Both houses of parliament adjourned sine die. Lok Sabha recorded 129% productivity and Rajya Sabha 98% during the budget session. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar and Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh to lead Indian delegation at 2+2 India-US talks on 11th of this month in Washington. India focusing on stabilizing economic relations with Russia and watching developments in Sri Lanka to help mitigate economic situation, says External Affairs Ministry. Finance Ministry grants additional borrowing permission of 28,204 crore rupees to 10 states for undertaking stipulated reforms in power sector in 2021-22. Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy dissolved his cabinet to bring in new ministers ahead of 2024 state elections. In Bihar, ruling NDA bags 13 seats in Legislative Council elections. Government mandates vehicles fitness testing via automated stations in phased manner from April 2023. And an IPL cricket match between Lucknow Super Giants and Delhi Capital underway in Mumbai. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर।
8700014242।
Welcome back to the evening news. Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy has dissolved his cabinet today to bring in new ministers ahead of the 2024 state elections. The matter to this effect was already discussed in the cabinet meeting held at 3 p.m. today, after which all the present 24 ministers submitted their resignation letters in the proper format. The new ministers will take oath on the 11th of April 2022 as per sources. In the Bihar Legislative Council election, result of all 24 seats have been declared so far. NDA won 13 seats, in which BJP won 7, JDU 5 and LJP Paras won 1 seat. RJD won 6 seats, while 4 independent candidates won from Chhapra, Nawada, Motihari and Madhubani seats. Congress won 1 seat from Begusarai.
The government of Jammu and Kashmir has introduced major changes in the education sector with path-breaking decisions to ensure quality, equity, accessibility, accountability and affordability in the system. Our correspondent reports that the Department of School Education has achieved landmark strides so far by effectively implementing all schemes and projects envisaging a notable improvement in the existing curriculum besides embarking upon various innovative new projects and works.
According to the official figures, around 1,164 construction works under Samagra Shiksha comprising of school building, additional accommodation, toilets, boundary walls and teachers' quarters have been completed with a financial implication of around Rs 95 crores. To provide quality education along with monetarily support to the girls of weaker sections of society, 59 Kasturba Gandhi Balika Vidyalaya residential schools and 23 girls hostels at a cost of Rs 130 crore were completed in the last financial year. To bring a major revolution in the infrastructure upgradation of school education, more than 4,200 projects are under execution in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. R.K. Rana, AR News, Jammu.
The Road Transport and Highways Ministry has issued notification regarding mandatory fitness of motor vehicles through automated testing station. The ministry said the mandatory fitness will be applicable for heavy goods vehicles, heavy passenger motor vehicles from the 1st of April next year onwards. While for medium goods vehicles and medium passenger motor vehicles and light motor vehicles, it will be applicable from the 1st of June 2024 onwards.
BJP leader and Union Minister of State for Health Dr. Bharati Praveen Pawar has said that Ayushman Bharat scheme has been very helpful in delivering health schemes to villages. Briefing the media at BJP headquarters in New Delhi today, Dr. Pawar said under the scheme there is provision to set up health and wellness centres, and in these centres people are getting health checkup, expert doctors consultation.
10.74 करोड़ फैमिलीज जो कि लगभग आज के तारीख पे देखा जाए तो 50 करोड़ बेनिफिशियरीज को ये हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस जो कि 5 लाख का इंश्योरेंस पर फैमिली पर ईयर कवर करता है। इसमें बड़ी बात यह है कि जो भी ऑपरेशन सर्जरी करवाने हैं इसके लिए कुछ अस्पताल एम्पैनल्ड किए हैं, कुछ वहां पे नंबर दिए हैं, प्रोटोकॉल बने हैं, सर्जरीज करेंगे, ट्रीटमेंट करेंगे और वो सभी सर्जरीज इंक्लूड किए हैं जो कि एक सामान्य परिवार को चिंतित करती है। आज कई अस्पताल इसमें जुड़े हैं। उड़ीसा, दिल्ली और पश्चिम बंगाल को छोड़ के हमारे बाकी राज्यों और यूटीज में ये योजना अच्छा काम कर रही है। स्टेट और सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के साथ मिली ये योजना है।
BJP is celebrating Social Justice Fortnight till the 20th of this month, and the focus is on the first day is Ayushman Bharat scheme. Dr. Pawar said in some states people are deprived from the benefits of Ayushman Bharat scheme. She requested the governments of National Capital Territory of Delhi, Odisha and West Bengal to give the benefit of the scheme to people of the states.
India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage has crossed 185 crore 36 lakh today. More than 14 lakh 53,000 vaccine doses were administered today. More than 2 crore 10 lakh vaccine doses have been administered to 12 to 14 years of age group so far. More than 2 crore 40 lakh precaution doses have been administered. Co-Win portal has introduced a new feature which will help beneficiaries submit their request for correction of vaccination date on vaccination certificate if the date printed differs from the actual date of vaccine administration. Briefing media this evening in New Delhi, Health and Family Welfare Additional Secretary Vikas Sheel said that this feature will rule out inadvertent errors which may be due to delayed updation of vaccination record on Co-Win.
Now beneficiaries can log in the Co-Win system, and at their dashboard there is an option for raising an issue under which a tab is provided, vaccine date correction. Once the beneficiary goes to that option, they can request a change by submitting the correct date of vaccination and also uploading a proof of vaccination given by the concerned vaccination center. All such requests will then be transferred to the district immunization officers concerned, who will conduct a summary inquiry, will try to ascertain the correctness of the request, and if it is resolved, then they will also get an SMS confirmation that the request has been resolved, and then they can download the corrected certificate.
This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम्स की तैयारी कर रहे परीक्षार्थियों के लिए एक विशेष कार्यक्रम अभ्यास आपके होंगे सवाल और हमारे विशेषज्ञ देंगे उसका जवाब। आप अपने सवाल रिकॉर्ड कर हमें भेजें व्हाट्सएप नंबर 9289094044 पर या फिर ईमेल करें abhyas.airnews@gmail.com पर। आपका अभ्यास हमारा प्रयास।
FSSAI has launched Food Safety Connect app for food business operators and consumers. Download this app from Google Play Store and easily apply for FSSAI registration. Consumer can use this app to register food-related complaints.
And now let's listen to our special program Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव।
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of this struggle every day.
In today's episode, we remember Assamese freedom fighter Joya Thowsen, who was martyred on the 7th of April 1944. She formed the revolutionary Dimasa army to fight against British imperialism.
Thowsen was born in 1925 in North Kachar Hill, Assam. She belonged to the Dimasa tribe and openly criticized the British government's war fund collection from the Dimasa inhabited area during World War II. At the mere age of 19 years, she established the Revolutionary Dimasa Army, a party of armed activists, in 1944.
Thowsen was inspired by the Rani Jhansi Regiment of the Indian National Army. When the INA column was about to reach Kohima, she moved with her 54 associates towards Kohima, hoping to join it in the struggle against the Allied forces. Unfortunately, this Dimasa armed force was intercepted and ambushed near Kohima by the British-led Allied force on the 7th of April 1944. All the 54 members of the party, including Joya, were killed on the spot before their dream of joining the INA came true. We salute the great martyrs.
Also remember Indian innovator Shankar Abaji Bhise, who died on the 7th of April 1935.
Born on the 29th of April 1867 in Mumbai, Bhise had an aptitude for science since his childhood. At the age of 14, he constructed a small apparatus at his home which made coal gas. He began a scientific club in Bombay and started publishing a science magazine in Marathi called Vivid Kala Prakash, through which he conveyed the importance of science to the common people. In 1893, he accepted an offer to go to England to show his inventions with support from Sayaji Rao Gaikwad of Baroda. He also drew the interests of Dadabhai Naoroji and G.K. Gokhale.
Bhise's most influential invention was a typesetting machine called the Spasotype and later the Bhisotype, which could insert blocks at 1500 to 2000 characters per hour for use in printing. The Hindu Missionary Society and several other Indian nationalist groups promoted Bhise and his talents. He was invited to several meetings where he was honoured, including the Indian National Trade Congress at Madras on the 26th of December 1908. He established an Indian society in London along with his wife Sushila Bai and others like Govind Kukre and Govind Ray.
Until his death, Bhise kept alive the anti-colonial spirit. In London, he joined Dadabhai Naoroji in demonstrations and meetings. In New York, he championed Gandhiji's ideas and hosted visiting Indian nationalists. From India to Britain and America, Bhise merged progressive politics with science. We salute the great Indian.
We also remember martyrs Sheikh Roshan and Badr Singh, who were sent to Andaman's cellular jail Kalapani on the 7th of March 1859 for participating in the First War of Indian Independence in 1857. They joined hands with the independence activists and fought against the British. They also offered financial help to other people and inspired them to destroy British properties and overthrow their rule. They were caught by the company troops and accused of rebellion against the British. They were sentenced to imprisonment for life. Sheikh Roshan and Badr Singh died in Andaman Islands in imprisonment. We salute the great sons of soil.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
The Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports has released India's contribution of $72,124 to UNESCO Fund for Elimination of Doping in Sport in 2022. It is a considerably enhanced contribution of twice the assessed value. UNESCO has conveyed their thanks and appreciated the Government of India's ongoing contribution towards the fund and commitment to the fight against doping in sport.
The Indian women's hockey team is set to take on the world number 1, the Netherlands, in their next set of FIH Pro League matches, which starts at the Kalinga Stadium in Bhubaneswar tomorrow. In the 15th match of the IPL cricket, Delhi Capitals were 127 for 3 in 17 overs against Lucknow Super Giants in Mumbai when reports last came in. Punjab Kings will take on Gujarat Titans at Brabant Stadium, Mumbai tomorrow.
The Sensex and the Nifty today witnessed losses for the third day in a row. Both indices declined amid weak cues from global share markets. A report from the business desk.
The Sensex plunged 575 points or 0.97% to finish at 59,035. The Nifty also slipped 168 points or 0.94% to settle at 17,640. The rupee weakened 20 paise against the US dollar. The domestic currency closed at 75 rupees and 96 paise per dollar. Gold prices climbed 230 rupees at multi-commodity exchange for June contracts. The precious metal was trading at 51,825 rupees per 10 grams. And Brent crude was trading around $102.90 per barrel. Rajesh Lake for AIR News.
Now let us take a look at the weather update for tomorrow. National capital Delhi will have heat wave. The minimum temperature will be 20 degrees, maximum expected around 41. Mumbai is expected to have a mainly clear sky. Chennai is likely to have a partly cloudy sky. Kolkata is likely to have a mainly clear sky. Srinagar and Jammu are expected to have a mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Leh is likely to have generally cloudy sky. Gilgit will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. Muzaffarabad to have mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Both houses of parliament adjourned sine die. Lok Sabha recorded 129% productivity, Rajya Sabha 98% during budget session. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Shankar and Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh to lead Indian delegation at 2+2 India-US talks on 11th of this month in Washington. India focusing on stabilizing economic relations with Russia and watching developments in Sri Lanka to help mitigate economic situation, says External Affairs Ministry. Finance Ministry grants additional borrowing permission of 28,204 crore rupees to 10 states for undertaking stipulated reforms in power sector in 2021-22. Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy dissolves cabinet to bring in new ministers ahead of 2024 state elections. In Bihar, ruling NDA bags 13 seats in Legislative Council elections. Government mandates vehicles fitness testing via automated stations in phased manner from April 2023. And in IPL cricket, match between Lucknow Super Giants and Delhi Capitals underway in Mumbai. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.